The tension inside Ferrari has never been higher. What began as a promising campaign for the Scuderia has turned into a psychological and strategic battlefield between Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. And after the events of the Japanese Grand Prix, Ferrari's biggest threat might not be Red Bull or McLaren, it might be itself. For months, Ferrari's 2025 season looked like a comeback story. Their car, the SF5, was fast, consistent, and finally capable of challenging for wins on merit. Leclerc, the team's longtime golden boy, started strong to wins in the first 4 races and a string of podiums. That put him ahead in the championship. But then, quietly and efficiently, Carlos Sainz began to close the gap. And in Japan, everything changed. As UK was meant to be a statement race for Ferrari. Both drivers qualified in the top 3, with Sainz ahead of Leclerc for only the second time this season. At the start, Leclerc's launch was better. He dived down the inside of turn 1, a bold move that left his teammate no room. Sainz had to lift to avoid contact, losing position to Lando Norris in the process. Really, came the furious radio message from Sainz. "He just pushed me off the line." Ferrari's race engineer responded coldly, "Copy, Carlos. Let's focus forward." But Sainz wasn't finished. As the race unfolded, he clawed his way back, using an alternate tire strategy to undercut both Leclerc and Norris. When the two Ferraris met again on lap 41, it was wheel-to-wheel combat. Leclerc defended hard, too hard. The two cars brushed wheels at 190 miles per hour. Sainz managed to hold on and finished ahead. Ferrari scored a double podium, but the atmosphere in the garage was ice cold. Leclerc avoided the post-race handshake. Sainz, when asked by Sky Sports if team harmony still existed, smiled thinly. "Let's say we both know what we're racing for now." Inside the Ferrari garage, that moment was a turning point. Team principal Frederick Vassar tried to calm things down publicly, insisting that both drivers are free to race, but behind closed doors, engineers whispered about growing divisions. Leclerc's side of the garage, known for its data precision and risk-taking, believed Sainz was too cautious and opportunistic. Sainz's side, more methodical and pragmatic, believed Leclerc was reckless and protected by management. These were not new tensions. Ever since Sainz joined Ferrari in 2021, the balance between the two drivers has been delicate. Leclerc was signed as the team's future. Sainz was brought in as the stable hand, but over time, those roles blurred. When Sainz won in Singapore 2023, using a brilliant defensive strategy to hold off both Mercedes cars, he earned respect across the paddock as one of Formula One's most intelligent racers. Now, 2 years later, he's no longer content being the number 2. The cracks widened again in Canada earlier this season. Ferrari's pit wall ordered Sainz to let Leclerc by, claiming Charles had better pace. But just a lapse later, Leclerc went wide at turn 8, forcing Sainz to take evasive action and costing both drivers time. It was a small incident, but it planted a big seed of mistrust. For Ferrari, managing this situation has become a nightmare. Both drivers are under long-term contracts, both are in title contention, and both have strong internal allies. Leclerc remains the face of Ferrari's modern identity, the Monegasque prodigy, who carries the hopes of Tifosi worldwide. Sainz, on the other hand, is the strategist, the driver who can think to moves ahead, a quality Ferrari desperately needs after years of operational errors. But the team's leadership hasn't helped. In Austria, Ferrari called Sainz in for an early pit stop that dropped him behind Leclerc. Despite Carlos running faster at the time, the radio exchange told the story. "Sainz, why are we stopping? The tires are fine. Engineer, we are protecting from undercut. Charles is next." Sainz, protecting from our own teammate. Ferrari defended the call as a strategic necessity, but fans and analysts saw it differently. It looked like favoritism, and it added fuel to a growing fire. Now, with just 6 races left and only 18 points separating them, Ferrari's internal conflict is threatening to undo their entire championship challenge. The psychological warfare is reaching its limit. Leclerc, known for his emotional driving, is showing signs of strain. His radio outbursts have become more frequent. After a difficult race in Spa, where Sainz beat him again, Charles told the team, "I can't fight both Red Bulls and Carlos. We need to decide what we're doing here." Meanwhile, Sainz remains calm in public, but sharp in private. He's been working more closely with engineers, even arriving early at race weekends to refine strategy simulations himself, a move some within the team see as a quiet challenge to Leclerc's influence. Ferrari's Sponsors and upper management have also started asking questions. The Italian press, never one to miss a story, has framed it as a civil war. Headlines like "Ferrari divided once again and history repeats itself" dominate Italian newspapers, and they're not wrong. The ghost of 2010, when Fernando Alonso and Felipe Massa's partnership imploded, are haunting Maranello once again. While Ferrari's the stars fight for supremacy, Red Bull and McLaren are watching closely. Max Verstappen, after a difficult mid-season stretch, has rediscovered his rhythm. His dominant victory in Singapore and solid podium in Japan show that Red Bull is still a threat. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are also in the mix, scoring consistently and capitalizing whenever Ferrari stumbles. The math is brutal. Ferrari has lost 47 potential points this season due to internal clashes, whether through strategy conflicts, pit errors, or drivers fighting each other on track. And those lost points could decide everything. One senior engineer reportedly told La Gazzetta dello Sport, "We built a car that can win, but right now, we're losing to ourselves." Behind the scenes, the politics are getting ugly. Leclerc's manager has reportedly pushed for clarity on number one driver status, heading into the final rounds. Sainz's father, Carlos Sainz Sr., a former rally champion, has also been involved in private discussions with Ferrari executives, urging fair treatment for his son. Vassar is caught in the middle, trying to hold the team together while the championship clock ticks down. Inside the paddock, rival teams smell blood. Red Bull's Helmut Marko has already commented publicly, saying Ferrari has the fast drivers, but they need one leader. Otherwise, they'll destroy each other. It's a statement meant to stir the pot, but it's also true. Formula One history is full of stories where inter-team rivalry cost championships. Prost versus Senna at McLaren, Hamilton versus Rosberg at Mercedes. Ferrari is now walking that same dangerous path. 6 races remain: Austin, Mexico, Brazil, Qatar, Las Vegas, and Abu Dhabi. Each track presents new challenges, but also new flashpoints for disaster. Brazil's tight first quarter, Qatar's tire wear, Las Vegas' unpredictable grip levels. All it takes is one small clash, one misjudged overtake, one bad call from the pit wall, and Ferrari's dream could turn into another heartbreak. Leclerc and Sainz know this, yet neither seems willing to back down. Leclerc's message after Suzuka summed it up perfectly: "I'm not here to finish second." Not to Carlos, not to anyone. Sainz's response a week later, when asked about team orders, was equally clear: "If they want a number 2 driver, they need to tell me to my face. Until then, I'm racing." Those 2 quotes capture the essence of Ferrari's crisis. Both men are right, and that's what makes it so dangerous. Beyond the points and podiums lies a deeper issue: legacy. For Leclerc, winning this title would mean redemption after years of frustration and unfulfilled promise. For Sainz, it would mean validation, a statement that he was never just a supporting act. For Ferrari, it would mean rebirth, a return to glory after over a decade without a driver's title. But they can't all get what they want. Someone will have to compromise, or Ferrari's championship will slip away like so many before it. The coming weeks will decide not just who wins the 2025 Formula One championship, but also what kind of team Ferrari truly is: a united force capable of conquering its demons, or a fractured powerhouse destined to repeat its mistakes. The rivalry between Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz is more than just a sporting contest. It's a battle for identity inside one of Formula One's most iconic teams. It's about pride, politics, and the relentless pursuit of glory. And as the lights go out for the final stretch of the season, one question hangs over Maranello: will Ferrari finally learn from its past, or will history once again repeat itself?